What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Appeal episode 85. Today was week 14, day 7 of this training block. Uh, my deadlift day singles. The top single was 451 or 205 kilos, and I've been working up. This last week I've decided, or I think it was really last week. I decided I'm just gonna take three singles. None of them are very hard, but just to build confidence and to get more work with singles in, I'm gonna take three. Kind of like meet style, but I'm not training for a meet right now. Um, and this week it was 407, then 429, then 451. All moved pretty good. I think it was relatively light work. Obviously, I did 407 for four earlier this week, so 451 for a single should moved how it should. Still fast. I was pretty sore coming into this session though. Like my lower back and my hips were kind of sore. Um, I think I was just squatting bad yesterday. I was like very low back squatting yesterday, which is not ideal. I think that I could have been in my quads a lot more. Um, and I think that resulted in kind of just me shooting back and making my lower back a little bit more sore than I needed to going into this session. So something that I just need to fix. But as far as it goes, it didn't really hinder me from getting the volume in that I needed to on deadlifts because I do have quite a bit. I had the singles, top set of five on pause deadlifts with like 363, and then 3x5 with 319 that you see here. And I still have that one set of RDLs on this day. This week I think it was like 291.5, and then that's an AMRAP. And then right after that, I do a Yates row AMRAP with one set, just to chug along on that. See if maybe in later blocks I can just fully do that as my upper back exercise. I'm really trying to fill it out though and see if it starts to feel better and better. I kind of like feel it sometimes and then I don't other times. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep plugging along on that one and see. But as far as technique goes, I'm pretty satisfied with how the pause deadlifts are. I think specifically with this exercise, sometimes I'm just like not knowing where to pause, but I also feel like it's pretty irrelevant where you pause on pause deadlifts, and like at least that's how I feel. I've seen people pause in many different spots as long as you're pausing. People have also I've seen in recent years kind of fudge pauses like on pause squats or pause deadlifts, like even pause bench, like they pause for less than a second and then move. They only do it kind of when the bar momentum stops, which I mean, I don't know. That I'm not sure about. But I've always been somebody that kind of like maybe over accentuates the pause, like a second and a half, maybe two. So on that end, I feel like maybe you're kind of bleeding power as well. But um, I think with pause deadlifts, I think you could just pause at right off the floor if you can, or like under your knees or something, and I think it'd be fine anyway. I think even if you have like slightly different pauses, like place of pause during it, it'll be fine. I feel like maybe the only thing is like weight variance where certain reps could be harder, but I think if you're using a proper weight anyway for pause deadlifts, like you're not overloading it too much, it should be fine anyway. But as far as upper back goes, I'm really starting to find a good groove with this row, the Arsenal Strength lever row. It's starting to click, and I'm starting to feel really, really good in my upper back and like mid traps area. I think part of that is due to the Kelso shrugs I do as well, but just focusing on retracting, maybe not having to drive my elbows back as far. So that's very nice. The same thing with these pull downs. I feel like I'm really focusing on controlling that eccentric actually this time because I said it for a while, but I feel like I'm actually getting it down here and just really focusing on it. I probably shouldn't stretch too much at the top. It's just like a habit that I have from when I used to do pull downs before. Um, but as far as it goes, I'm just driving down to where it feels good and then controlling it up. And it's definitely working because my lats are pretty active after doing this. And it's been a journey, especially on like wide grip pull downs, to really feel my lats firing. I feel like for a long time I was just kind of plugging away and thinking maybe I'll just feel them at some point, but really taking control of that and making sure that I can feel it has been very important. Um, this Yates row, I didn't include my unilateral sets. I decided to do a bilateral set to see how it felt. Didn't feel that good. Um, so I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna do that one unilateral. Uh, I have cut volume across this session though. Specifically, uh, I think I cut one off of the lever row and then one off of pull downs. So I'm doing 7 total sets, two across each of the exercises, and then one on Yates row. I'm thinking about cutting even more. I might cut one of those Yates row sets because I feel like by the point that I kind of get to that exercise, I'm already kind of fried. So there's maybe no need to do one more, especially because I'm like splitting volume already on Yates. So I'm doing like four back exercises, which is kind of redundant. Um, but it's something I'm thinking about right now. Maybe move some stuff around again. But we're getting into the thick of it. Next week is going to be the highest volume that I've hit for strength in a while. It's gonna be 5x5s, 5x4s, some singles. Hopefully, we keep the trajectory. Going to make sure that I get more sleep because I've been kind of lacking this week, and I can kind of feel it in my recovery and how I feel during sessions. But as soon as I'm warmed up, it's fine. But I definitely need to make sure that I'm getting at least 8 hours at the very least for these sessions because they're not easy and it's going to be very hard volume next week. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, a comment, or a subscribe. I'll see you on the third for my primary bench session and the beginning of week 15. Thanks for watching.